Good morning. I'm Andy Myers at Weiss Research, and this is your morning market update for Tuesday, December 20th. Stocks on Wall Street are rebounding from yesterday's declines, following positive economic news from Germany and on the U.S. housing market. First to the domestic data. New home construction jumped a much bigger than expected 9.3% in November, to its highest annual rate since April of 2010. The increase was mainly due to a huge surge in housing starts for multifamily residences. Meanwhile, building permits, a leading indicator of housing construction, rose 5.7% to their highest level since last March. Investor sentiment across Europe is also improving today, thanks to an unexpectedly strong report from the IFO Institute. It found that businesses across Germany were more confident about economic conditions in December. Following the data, the euro is regaining some lost ground against the US dollar, rising back above the 131 mark. And the relative weakness of the dollar is helping commodities rebound from some steep recent declines. Crude oil is surging 3% and is approaching $97 a barrel, and gold is now trading back above the $1,600 an ounce mark at around $1,615. The renewed optimism is also boosting investors' appetite for other risk assets, including financial shares. Bank of America is gaining nearly 3% after closing below $5 a share for the first time in more than 2 years yesterday. JP Morgan Chase, Citigroup, Wells Fargo, and Morgan Stanley are also solidly higher. Turning to the telecommunications sector, AT&T has dropped its $39 billion bid to buy T-Mobile USA. The deal would have created the largest U.S. wireless carrier, but the Department of Justice and the Federal Communications Commission opposed the merger on antitrust grounds. AT&T will now have to pay $4 billion in breakup charges to T-Mobile's owner, Deutsche Telekom. Separately, Apple has won a patent dispute against the Taiwanese smartphone maker HTC. The U.S. International Trade Commission ruled that HTC violated 2 claims tied to patents on Apple's iPhone. The decision places a ban on some of HTC's phones being imported into the United States. One of the day's biggest stock decliners comes from the technology sector. Software maker Red Hat is tumbling 7% after its fiscal third-quarter earnings fell well short of analyst estimates. Meanwhile, shares of General Mills are falling 2.5%. The packaged foods giant posted a 28% decline in quarterly profit as higher input costs continued to outpace sales growth. Rising commodity costs also hurt ConAgra Foods' bottom line. However, the company's commercial foods business saw solid profit growth, helping adjusted earnings top expectations. Right now, ConAgra is gaining nearly 3%. And keep an eye on shares of CVS Caremark. They're jumping more than 5% after the drugstore chain boosted its earnings outlook for 2012 and increased its dividend by 30%. After today's closing bell, Oracle, Nike, and Jabil Circuit will all report their quarterly numbers. That's the latest from Weiss Research. Have a great trading day.